we don't want to forget about our EAL learners. We all have EAL learners in our classrooms. So how does teaching vocabulary to our EAL students maybe look different? So it says that our Tier 2 vocabulary words are not common in oral conversation, but they are found in written language. Our English language learners not only know fewer words in English, but they have looser semantic networks between words in their vocabularies in English. That does not mean that they don't have those strong networks in their first language. So we know that we still need to support our EAL learners with that Tier 1 vocabulary. So they need to learn what this is. And we don't have to explicitly teach our other students, our English-speaking students, those words, but we do, not all of them, but we do have to support our EAL learners with those words. So we spoke to Tracy Johnson a lot about this content because we wanted to make sure that the messaging was accurate with what our EAL unit communicates. But so she shared with us that it takes 1 to 2 years on average to manage everyday English conversations and 5 to 7 years to have a deeper understanding of word meanings across contexts. So that's a long time for our students. But let's consider this. So is it likely that a 5-year-old who speaks English as their first language would know the meaning of those words? Okay. Is it likely that a 5-year-old EAL student would know the meaning of those words in their first language? Yes. Okay. So then we just have to give them the label. We just have to show them this table. They know what that is in their first language, so we don't have to explain what a table is. It holds papers, we can eat at it. We don't have to explain any of that. We just need to give them the label, provide them the label, and that's where pictures, labeling your classroom, all of that supports that development. But let's look at these words. Is it likely that a 5-year-old English-speaking child would know the meaning of those words? No. And is it likely that a 5-year-old EAL student would know them in their first language? No. So we can still teach our Tier 2 words to our English-speaking children and our EAL students. But we need to provide that underlying concept. So if I'm going to teach the word terrified, I still need to teach the word scared to my EAL student, but I don't need to teach the meaning of scared. I could show them a picture. We could act it out. I could show them a bear, scared. I could show them, a tornado, scared, whatever. So I'm just...
This is on the video,
So I'm just teaching them the label, and so then they will know, okay, I know what's scared. I know that means scared, and then I can go on to teach them the word terrified. Yes, it's going to take longer, but it will also take longer. We talk about, the multiple exposures for our students to learn the alphabet, learn the sounds, all of those kids that may struggle with those, the acquisition of those skills. It just takes time, and it takes that multiple exposures. So it's the same thing. So really, the teaching of vocabulary for English-speaking children and EAL students is very similar, as long as we provide that label and we know that they have that underlying concept.
Right.
So what is most effective? All of these activities are what we all do in our classrooms to support these children already. So using visuals, going through a picture walk of a story, if we can, provide a translation of the word. So the National Reading Panel, which is what we always talk about, that's where the 5 pillars came out of. And that in the National Reading Panel indicates that research-based strategies used with first language learners are effective with our EAL students. So really it's any student, and what's important is the multiple exposures ample opportunities to play with the words, to use the words, to think about the words.
And again, that emphasis on that oral language piece and having them speak the words, it's so huge.